Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. We have a question that came in from Harry Beck into customer service, and Harry says, Don, I am trying to accomplish everything you teach, and while I use your swing techniques, I find myself hitting the ball to the right, sometimes severely. I was a BB player, I guess that means baseball player, for 30 years, and cannot find a way to overcome this dominance of the right hand and arm. Let me repeat that again. I cannot find a way to overcome this dominance of the right hand arm. Any suggestions? Absolutely. Why don't you try using it instead of trying not to use it? All right. Now that might sound quite contradictory, but back in the first book I ever wrote, I had a chapter that was called Misconceptions and Lies. I'm pretty sure that's in it. And if the right arm dominance is not one of the 10 major mistakes amateurs make, it's right up there, pretty close after number 10. So let me start by explaining the physics that's involved here. There's a law of physics. As you know, everything I teach involves the laws of physics working in harmony with the human body. God created the world, so physics was here before anything living and breathing was here, especially human beings. All right? And everything on this planet works in harmony with physics. So when God created our bodies, He did not create our bodies to defy physics. So there's a law of physics that states if two or more things are involved in the movement of an object, they must be equal in that movement. Because if they are not, the one that's doing lesser than the greater, since both of them are on this club at the same time trying to swing it, if the one doing lesser, like you're talking about, you say you think it's doing too much, but it's really just not doing things correctly, and then you're trying not to use it at all, so it's now lesser. Doing lesser than the greater is putting that system into a condition called drag, and in physics, drag is a negative effect. That's the same effect of driving your car with your foot on the gas and your left foot on the brake, okay? And like if both two wheels in the front, the two tires in the front of your car weren't turning the equal speed, the car would turn in the direction of the slower one, and you could be going in circles, correct? So the same thing happens. Another example I use is like if you were going to ring a church bell, like when I was a young man, I was an altar boy, a youngster, I'd go up there. When I put both hands on the big thick rope, when I was ready to pull that rope, did I pull with just my left hand and leave my right hand on there? No, I squeezed them with equal pressure and I pulled with equal force. All right, and when I pulled that church bell down as far as I could, and in that church the bell recoiled the other way and jerked my hands back up. Did it jerk up one hand faster than the other? Did it jerk up one side of my body faster than the other? No, it jerked me straight up and down. It was a heck of a good ride. All right, and so we have to have equality here. And so the whole world has told you that when you keep feeling yourself grab the club at the top of the backswing with your right hand, that's the problem. Hold it lighter. Well, for two reasons, that's wrong. The first reason being is even if you were making a correct swing, but you went to parallel, making a limited turn, but went to parallel. So whether you're, and then definitely if you're making too much turn and going to parallel, or either or both of those things, too much turn and or parallel, once you have to pull the club up before it comes down. Right? You can't go to parallel and just pull straight down. The club will bounce off your shoulder. So you have to pull it up before it comes down. So once you stop pulling it up, any type of pulling is automatically opening the body up, and it's going to very likely have the club going out, especially if you're turning too much, you're way in this graveyard. You not only got to get it out of the graveyard, you still got to pull the club up. The club's going that way. It's going to keep going that way until you stop it. So right about here, your brain says, whoa, hey, the club's going that way, the ball's down here. So it says, grab that club and get the ball and get it going to here. And what's going to grab it? The bottom hand. Why? Because it's closer to the club head, and it's got the greatest effect of feeling and getting control of that golf club. And in most cases, golfers, your right hand for right-handers, left-handed for left-handers. That's usually your dominant hand, and you got more touch, more sensitivity, more strength in it, and therefore you can more accurately do things with it, and so it's going to grab it. And then that's where it is. Oh, it's grabbing it. That's bad. Hold it looser. Well, if you're not holding it tight enough and it starts to go this way, and your brain starts to feel that maybe the club is starting to slip out of it, what's your brain going to do? It's going to give a signal to your hand to grab it and tighten up on it. And so either way, both reasons, one or the other or both, is why you're tightening up there. Because now you've got to stop it from going that way, get control over it, and redirect it here, and try to hit the ball on, square and solid. So what's the answer? The three-quarter limited turn eliminates the parallel having to push it up, eliminates the turn and the parallel having to turn it back and throw it out before it can come down. So that's why the swing is so important. But even when you're making the perfect PPG swing, limited turn, 3/4 swing, you want to use your right hand. It has to be used to be consistent with the law of physics and avoid drag. I actually use my right hand because that's the whole thing that controls everything. Sam Snead once said he wished he had 2 right hands. All right? So I get in there, when I set everything, I go in, it's because it's my right hand that once I go in the catcher's mitt on the aiming line, let's just say over here, and I keep turning to my toe line, well, that club is in momentum now. It has momentum, it's going to want to stay on that path and plane. All right? So what's going to happen? I have to stop it from going in. I have to make it go up. It's supposed to go up the tree, not down a tree limb. So what's going to do that? More than anything, it's my right hand, wrist and forearm that's firming up almost to the point of locking down to make it and lift it up together with both hands and arms lifting together. And then when it gets up to the top, it starts down. And once I'm getting right about here, my right arm is the one that really is going to be very actively involved in making the club swing and rotate to the target. They're both working together. And then once I've struck the ball and now I've hit it and I swing into the forward catcher's mitt, what happens? Once I hit the tree on this side, it's going to want to keep going down a branch. That's not going to do any good because if I do that, I'll be releasing too much and hitting the ball left and then holding on and losing it to the right. So once I get there, just like in the backswing, the right hand's going to what? It's going to stop the rotation at about toe up and it's going to make it go up the tree. The right hand is a really big player here. You must understand that this is a two-handed swing, and the right hand, the lower hand, is a really big player here to make sure that we have the right, we stay on the right path, we make sure we lift the club up the tree. In other words, we stop it on that diagonal plane, the shaft on a diagonal plane, and make it go up on this side, and then we stop it on, the right hand is a bigger player in stopping it and making it go up on this side to finish in a T finish. Recoil and relax at the target. Baseball is not a bad sport. You release with your right hand there. Just think about it. How much was your right hand active there? You want the same thing going on here, except in swinging on this plane, we're swinging on this plane. We're still, in baseball, you stepped into the shot and your lower body led and your arms went through. Well, isn't that a golf swing? It's just a different plane. Use your hands like you did in baseball. There's nothing wrong with them. But we stigmatized it and made it bad in golf. No, it isn't. It's because we swung to wrong places and had to make compensatory moves that would help us to be able to stop the club from going the wrong way to make it start trying to go the correct way. Just do it correct all the way, but still this hand has a really, really, really important job. The right hand, the lower hand, has a really important job to controlling the path in the plane and releasing the club to impact and keeping ourselves swinging up the tree on both sides of us, into the mitt and up the tree on both sides so we can hit it more solid, straight, and longer. The right hand is important. The lower hand is really important. Use it correctly and you start hitting the ball much more solid, straight, and therefore controlling your golf ball and shooting lower scores. That's it from the Surge for today. Talking about the right hand and our lower hand, which is the one we most likely always point with. That's the hand that can really, really control the club face and get the job done. All right, that's it for today, and I'll be talking to y'all again soon.